Hello, welcome to Continental Update, where we update you on what you know about African continent and what you don't know and around the world. Before you go ahead to watch the video, don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. So today we are here to talk about Seychelles. What was Seychelles called before? Seychelles was uninhabited until the 18th century, when Europeans arrived with enslaved Africans. It renamed a British colony from 1814 until its independence in 1976. Seychelles has never been inhabited by indigenous people, but its islanders maintain their own Creole heritage. The languages spoken in Seychelles are Creole, French, and English. More than 3/4 of the population are Roman Catholics. There are also Anglicans, Christians of other denominations, Hindus, and Muslims. Staple foods include fish, seafood, and shellfish dishes, often accompanied with rice. Seychelles is made up of two main groups of over 100 islands in the Western Indian Ocean. Shares borders with Kenya around 1,600 kilometers to the west and Madagascar, which lies about 1,100 kilometers south. When the French explorer Lazare Picot landed on today's Mahe in 1742, he was struck by its fertile and luxuriant appearance and called it Isle of Abundance. In 1742, when he returned 2 years later to map it better, he renamed it Mahe in honor of Mahe Bourdonnais, his patron and administrator of Mauritius. Later, Mahe took the name of Isle de Seychelles in honor of Viscount Jean de Seychelles. He was the Minister of Finance during the reign of Louis XV. Later, this name was changed to Seychelles and became the name of the entire archipelago, while Mahe returned to be used for the main island. The islands were claimed by France in 1756. Seychelles remained uninhabited until the first settlers arrived on board. The Seychelles has a very short human history. The first humans settled on the islands only at the end of the 18th century. Before then, the entire archipelago was completely uninhabited, having first become a French colony, then a British one. Then Seychelles saw the arrival, along with settlers, of numerous slaves from various parts of Africa. This mix of nationalities gave birth to a multicultural and multi-ethnic nation, which boasts an unspoiled ecosystem and an incredible variety of plant and animal species. Thanks to its isolation, the French decided to settle in Seychelles both to take advantage of their strategic position in relation to India and to start growing spices in an attempt to compete with the Dutch. In 1770, 15 settlers together with a dozen slaves settled in Seychelles. Subsequently, large quantities of slaves were brought from Mauritius. Creoles born of African and European parents, Madagascar, Mozambique, and to a lesser extent, India. The first century of settlement, the Seychelles had few inhabitants but very varied origins. This led to a strong mix of ethnic groups and determined the multi-ethnic and multicultural character of the population, which is still visible today. The Seychelles remained part of France until 1814, when it passed on to the British. It is still possible to observe strong French influence in the reality of the Seychelles, not only in surnames and geographical names, but also in the food and language. In fact, French is one of the official languages of the country and represents the basis of Seychelles Creole in music and traditional dances. However, the African imprint given by the slaves of the time is stronger. The first election in the Seychelles were held in 1948 after the Seychelles had been partially separated from the British Crown. At this time, stronger political awareness developed, which was reflected in the following years by increasing formation of political parties. In 1967, the first completely independent Seychelles election were held. The Seychelles remained the British until 1976, when it became an independent republic within the Commonwealth.